Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new Game News Roundup. Well, it's been announced. Jeff Keighley has unveiled the nominees for the 2025 The Game Awards. And we're going to go over what the nominees are. I'm going to predict who I think is going to win. Feel free to call me out if I'm wrong on anything. I'm probably going to be wrong on most things, but we'll see if I'm at least right on a handful of things. Before we get into the exact nominees, the most nominated game this year was Clair Obscur Expedition 33 with 12 nominations. Followed by Death Stranding 2 on the Beach and Ghost of Yotei with 8 nominations each. And Sony Interactive Entertainment is the publisher with the most nominations with a total of 19. Mainly because of Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei being 16 of those. Yes, because they did publish Death Stranding 2. This is followed by Kepler Interactive with 13 nominations, because of 12 of those being Clair Obscur. And Microsoft and Electronic Arts have 10 nominations each. They're next in line for the most nominations. If you're interested in voting, you can vote online. I believe the fan vote is equivalent to 10% of the overall voting. You know, you got a panel doing them counts for 90% for the different nominees, who their favorite are for who's been nominated, and then the fan vote is all of 10%. So if there's two games that are practically tied, the fan vote can make a difference, but if one game's clearly in the lead, fan vote probably won't make any difference. You have until December 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and 2 a.m. GMT on December 11th. And the Game Awards 2025 will take place on Thursday, December 11th at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, and it'll start at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Wait, those are backwards. That's a typo. We got a typo here. Excuse me. 4:30 p.m. Pacific, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Those are flipped there, I swear. And 12:30 a.m. GMT. So if you're in Europe, it'll be at night. It'll be the following day, December 12th. Apologies for the little typo there. The typos happen, all right? It happens. So we're just gonna start from the top and work our way down. Game of the year. We're starting with the big boy here. Clair Obscur Expedition 33, Death Stranding 2, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Who do I think? Who am I going to predict is going to win this? Well, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is who I think will be this year's Game of the Year. I think it is this year's Baldur's Gate 3. It's had so much hype. Plus, well, it's been nominated more than any other game with 12 nominations. Now, here's the weird thing about this. I listed all of these games. There's one game which has 8 nominations tied for second, which was not nominated for Game of the Year. That's right, Ghost of Yotei with 8 nominations. Tied with Death Stranding 2 with 8. Was not nominated for Game of the Year. That is weird. That is bizarre. It has more nominations than everything on this list except for 2 of them. I know that doesn't mean anything just because, certain games might fit under more categories. I realize that. But, yeah. I'm predicting Clair Obscur Expedition 33 will be this year's Game of the Year at the Game Awards. Obviously, does that mean that's my personal Game of the Year? Is that someone else's personal Game of the Year? No, it's just, I think overall, I think that's what the critics, the people in the jury are gonna pick for this year's Game of the Year above anything else in that 6. Also, in my opinion, I feel like it should be 10 games nominated, not 6. I realize it has one more nomination than any other category, but I feel like it's Game of the Year. There's certain games, not saying they win, but I feel like if they were 10 games, you'd have Ghost of Yotei on that list. Obviously, that's the one game that I think probably would be next in line that would be on that list for Game of the Year. I mean, there's clearly other games that deserve it. I mean, me personally, I'm not sure. There's no way it would win. But, like, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which technically came out last year. However, since the Game Awards takes place in December, the cutoff date is November 15th. So any game that came out after November 15th of last year counts towards this year. So it's basically November 16th of the previous year, November 15th of the current year. I believe that's the cutoff window for the Game Awards. It's a bit weird, but that's how they do it. Instead of having the Game Awards in, say, January or February, and then just having it be the calendar year, which would make more sense in my opinion, that's how they do it. Best game direction. We got Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Split Fiction. Well, here's not a surprise. I'm gonna go with Clair Obscur is gonna win for best game direction. Yeah, you're gonna see a pattern here for a lot of these. Best narrative: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and Silent Hill F. I'm gonna go with Clair Obscur winning best narrative. Yeah, here's a hint. I'm pretty much gonna put Clair Obscur winning any category it's nominated. Almost anything it's nominated in. Best art direction: Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. This one I think is a bit closer because it's art direction. And a lot of people do enjoy the art of some indie games, and especially with the hype for Hollow Knight Silk Song, although visually it is similar to the first Hollow Knight, but that might have a chance of winning. I mean, Hades 2? But I think I'll go leaning towards, just because it's been this, like, it's this year's Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like Clair Obscur might win it. Potentially, with Hollow Knight and Hades 2 as the next choices. And if you're wondering for Game of the Year, after Clair Obscur, who do I think is next in line to potentially win? Probably, I mean, I know, just because of the hype around it, Hollow Knight Silk Song, maybe. Didn't remember seeing a ton of hype for the rest of the games in the top 6 there. I feel like Clair Obscur just is so much here. But yeah, Hades 2 for art direction. Yeah. Emerald's saying Hades 2 for art. That's the one where I think it's more up in the air. And then art direction is so, that's like I mean, I guess all of these are subjective, you know. And best score and music, we've got Hollow Knight Silk Song, Hades 2, Clair Obscur, Ghost of Yotei, and Death Stranding 2. Yeah, I know, a lot of these are very similar. I don't know the music well enough for me to pick who I think is going to win this. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't know the music anywhere near well enough. I probably haven't even heard most of these games' music, so I can't really say who is going to win best score and music. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to predict on everything. Just ones that I know enough about, whether I've played the games enough or I've seen enough of the games. Or, like, which one has the most hype, you know? And then best audio design: Battlefield 6, Clair Obscur, Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, and Silent Hill F. Again, I have not played most of these games to really know. For best audio design, yeah, you need to listen to all of them to make a choice. Yeah, for music, I need to listen to all of them for sure to pick. Now, best audio design, honestly, this one I don't know enough. I mean, will I just say Clair Obscur is just gonna go win everything? I don't know. That one's another one I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't know for 100% for sure for any of them. I mean, Game of the Year is most likely Clair Obscur. Like, that seems like the most obvious one. And funny enough, then you go to best performance. Clair Obscur is on there 3 times for Ben Starr, Charlie Cox, and Jennifer English. Yeah, then you got Ghost of Yotei and Silent Hill F, and then you got Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Troy Baker, who, honestly, you would think it would just been Harrison Ford playing, well, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That's who Troy Baker played as. I mean, I played that. I thought he did fantastic. It felt like he was indie. He embodied indie. So my personal pick would be Troy Baker and Indiana Jones, the Great Circle. However, I don't know enough overall with the other games. I don't know. I have not played Clair Obscur. I've seen gameplay and stuff, but I don't know the different character names and stuff of who maybe which Clair Obscur character stands out the most of those 3. Or Silent Hill F or Ghost of Yotei. I don't know enough to pick for that one. Innovation, and I know I said predictions. I'm not predicting for everything. I was predicting ones that make sense. Innovation, accessibility. So these are games with the best accessibility features. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Atomfall, Doom: The Dark Ages, EA Sports FC 26, and South of Midnight. I have actually played 2 of these games. I know. Thanks to Game Pass, Doom: The Dark Ages and South of Midnight. Of course, I never really go through accessibility features other than, like, I turn on subtitles. You know, if I'm streaming games, I'll turn on subtitles and make them bigger. If I'm struggling, I know Doom: The Dark Ages had a lot of sliders for difficulty, so that could be considered, but I don't know enough to pick which one would win. Out of those 5, I do plan on playing Assassin's Creed Shadows at some point in the future. Yeah, I'm not sure on that one. Games for Impact. So, what does this mean? Games that have impact. Consume Me, Despelot. I've actually not heard of that one. Lost Records, Bloomin' Rage, South of Midnight, and Wanderstop. Wanderstop? Again, I don't know enough about these to pick one. I played South of Midnight. I guess the games for impact is... I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what they exactly mean for games for impact. Impact on maybe marginalized groups of people? Maybe? Something like that? You know? Something along those lines, showing equality and stuff. Maybe? Not 100% sure on that. Best ongoing games. So these are live service games that have been going on for a long time. We got Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, Marvel Rivals, and No Man's Sky. Actually, No Man's Sky, I guess, is technically not. Most emotional, right? Yeah, actually, yeah, most emotional. Yeah. Emerald's saying most emotional. Yeah, I guess most emotional impact. Yeah, that might be it. That could be it. Yeah, that fit. That could fit. South of Midnight definitely has some emotional stuff with the mother and stuff. I'm not saying anything more than that. I'm not going to spoil. But yeah, best ongoing game. So it's a game that's been going on for many years, and it's had some decent updates, I guess, in the past 12 months. I don't play any of these games, so I have no idea which one would win. I mean, I would hope not Fortnite, and I haven't really heard anything spectacular about Marvel Rivals. And I don't know about Helldivers 2. Maybe Final Fantasy 14. I think they had some big updates this year, so maybe Final Fantasy 14 would be my prediction for best ongoing game, but I really don't know for sure. Best community support. So support with the community. Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, and No Man's Sky. It's literally the exact same list as best ongoing game, except instead of Marvel Rivals, it's Baldur's Gate 3. It's practically the exact same list. But which one do I think has had the best support for the community? Good question. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm not sure which one is the best community. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Helldivers. I don't know enough, to say the least. Again, I'm only predicting the ones that I have know enough about. 14 or Helldivers 2 for me on both. Yeah, I mean, between those are probably the ones that make the most sense for both of them. For ongoing game and community support. I do agree, Emerald. This does make sense. Best indie game. So from a smaller developer, we got Absalom, Ball, X Pit, Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Hades 2, and Hollow Knight Silksong. Clair Obscur is clearly going to win that one. Clearly, Clair Obscur is going to win best independent game. If I'm predicting it's going to win Game of the Year, I mean, there's some things maybe it wouldn't win, but I feel like best indie game, it's got to win that one. And same with the next category, best debut indie game. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of crossover with best indie games. So this is from an indie developer for the first game they have ever released. Blueprints, Clair Obscur, Despelot, Dispatch, and Megabonk. Clair Obscur, I'm going to predict, will win best debut indie game. I know. Shocker on that. Best mobile game. I have no opinion on these because I've played none of these. Destiny Rising, Persona 5, The Phantom X, Sonic Rumble, something pretty derby. Yuma Musum. I have no idea how to pronounce that. No clue. And Wuthering Waves. I know that was just embarrassing. I know XD. Yeah, I know. That was just embarrassing. I have no idea, and I don't know enough about. I know very little about any of these games to actually have any opinion on. Like maybe that one. I don't know. I have no clue. Same with the next category. I don't have any VR headsets. I've played VR a few times, but it's been a long time. Best VR, virtual reality, and augmented reality game. We got Alien, Rogue Incursion, Arcane Age, Ghost Town, Marvel's Deadpool VR, and The Midnight Walk. I have heard of Alien, Rogue Incursion, and The Midnight Walk. Yeah, I had no idea there was a Deadpool VR game. I had no idea. That's not a good sign. Hey, go figure, right? I don't know. It's fine. I have no idea who to win this one. Feel free. Again, if anyone's watching this, feel free to put your predictions down below. in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. And best action game. Battlefield 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Hades 2, Ninja Gaiden 4, and Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And I have played 2 of these games. Doom the Dark Ages and Ninja Gaiden 4. I know. Actually, fun enough, I probably would have bought these 2 games, even if they weren't on Game Pass. Between what I've played, Doom the Dark Ages is probably my game of the year. I mean, I know not everyone enjoyed Doom the Dark Ages, but I like the direction it went. I like the bigger areas you can explore a bit. The fact that you're more of a tank, less parkour, almost no parkour. It's more where I was hoping a Doom game would come with definitely some Quake inspiration. So me personally, that's my personal game of the year. But obviously, Clair Obscur, I understand everyone liked Doom the Dark Ages, but honestly, out of those games, Battlefield 6 is probably going to win. My prediction is Battlefield 6 would win best action game. Out of those 5 choices, considering it had a pretty damn big launch, the biggest launch in Battlefield history. Yeah, we're going to go with Battlefield 6 for my prediction of best action game. I enjoyed Ninja Gaiden 4. However, I did not think it was as good as Ninja Gaiden 1 or 2. The ones on the original Xbox and the Xbox 360. Those 2 Ninja Gaiden 1 and 2s. But it was definitely way better than Ninja Gaiden 3. It wasn't quite as good as those first 2 Ninja Gaiden games. Of the reboot series from Itagaki, who may he rest in peace because he did pass away recently. Best action adventure game. Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Split Fiction are the 5 games nominated for Best Action Adventure Game. Oof. I mean, I really enjoyed Indiana Jones, but if you don't care for the Indiana Jones, like the original trilogy of Indiana Jones, you're probably not going to care for the game. So I feel like it'd be between Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei, and I think probably I'm going to lean towards Death Stranding 2 for winning Best Action Adventure Game. I know. Crazy. I'm going to lean towards Death Stranding 2. Best RPG is next. Avowed, Clair Obscur, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, The Outer Worlds 2, and Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm going to go with Clair Obscur winning Best RPG, which is, what's pretty funny? Obsidian's on here twice. Because they released Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2, both RPGs, in the same year. Go figure. I mean, because Obsidian has 3 development teams. One did Avowed, one did Outer Worlds 2, and a third, much smaller team works on Grounded 2. But yeah, I'm going with Clair Obscur winning Best RPG. I mean, that's kind of a given. They put in the work. Yeah, no, Obsidian, they've grown quite a bit. If you don't know Obsidian, they did Fallout New Vegas. That's probably what they're best known for, is developing Fallout New Vegas. And they did Knights of the Old Republic 2. Those are 2 of the games they're definitely known for. And Grounded, which is a very different game. But that was a very small team working on Grounded 1 and Grounded 2. I think Grounded 1 was like a team of 13 people, if I recall. But anyways, I digress. Best fighting game. 2XKO, which I think is actually still only out in early access. Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which is a collection of fighting games. Fatal Fury City of the Wolves. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, which is just a collection of fighting games. Virtua Fighter, you can tell it was not a good year for fighting games when you have some collections in one game that's in early access. And Virtua Fighter 5 Revo World Stage. I have no idea if that's a re-release or a remastered version. I have no idea. I don't know much about fighting games, but man, that is not a great year for fighting games. Who do I think would win? I have no idea. I have no clue who would win for best fighting game. Best family game. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Lego Party, Lego Voyagers, Mario Kart World, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, and Split Fiction. I'm going to go with Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yes, over Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World, yes, I heard it's great and all, but I heard the multiplayer stuff is a bit lacking in Mario Kart World, even compared to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's missing some modes. It's got a great open world to explore. You can raid, the world you explore and stuff. Great for single player, but as family, I don't know you can explore the open world in multiplayer or not in Mario Kart World. I've not played it. I don't want to Switch 2 yet. Someday, maybe. But I'm gonna go with Donkey Kong Bonanza winning this. If not, Split Fiction probably next after Donkey Kong Bonanza. I know, crazy. That's just my prediction. Just a prediction. I really don't know enough about some of this stuff to know for sure. Best sim / strategy game. We got The Alters, Final Fantasy Tactics, The Ivalice Chronicles, Jurassic World Evolution 3, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Tempest Rising, and 2 Point Museum. This is a genre I don't play much of either. I know another one. I can't play every franchise, all right? Okay. But between those, oddly enough, 6 games. I don't know. Civ 7, maybe? I don't know the reception from Civ 7. I know Civ 6 didn't have a best response, so maybe Civ 7 had a better response. Maybe just because I've heard of it. Final Fantasy Tactics for you, Emerald? Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It could be Final Fantasy Tactics. I have no clue. I don't know enough. I've not played any of them. I've seen little bits here and there. Maybe some YouTube content, but not really much. Best sports / racing game. FC 26, F1 25, Mario Kart World Rematch, and Sonic Racing Crossroads. Well, I hope an annual sports hall does not win this one. So I'm gonna go with Mario Kart World for best sports / racing game. Probably. Anyway, that's my guess. Mario Kart World would win that one. Just because of the hype around it. If not, I don't know. Was Sonic Racing Crossroads well received? I don't know. And Rematch, I think that's a football / soccer game. Maybe? Not totally sure. Best multiplayer game. Arc Raiders, Battlefield 6, Elden Ring, Night Rain, Peak, and Split Fiction. I'm gonna go... Ooh, I've heard enough. Peak, I know, took off with YouTubes and friends and stuff. I don't think it would win, but I don't think that would win. Elden Ring, Night Rain, I think had some issues. Probably Battlefield 6, just because of the hype around Battlefield's returning after so long. So I'm just gonna pull, Battlefield 6, I think. Yeah. I'm leaning towards Battlefield 6, but not like clearly that one's above another. That's something will definitely win. But yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Battlefield 6. Best adaptation. A Minecraft movie, Devil May Cry, The Last of Us Season 2, Splinter Cell Death Watch, and Until Dawn. I have seen none of these. I mean, the one I'm looking forward to the most is Fallout Season 2, which doesn't come out for another month. Middle of December. So, and that will be on next year's The Game Awards. Just because the way the things line up, which is really annoying, but whatever. I'm going to go with the Minecraft movie. I mean, I haven't watched it. All I know is chicken jockey, and then kids in the movie theater throw their popcorn in the air and goes crazy. So yeah, I'm going to lean towards a Minecraft movie winning Best Adaptation. Just because of the ridiculous hype around it. Last of Us Season 2, much like The Last of Us Part 2, had a lot of people didn't care for it, story-wise. I'm not going to say why, but there's a reason. And the other ones I've heard nothing about. So I'm going to lean towards a Minecraft movie winning Best Adaptation. Most anticipated game, we've got 007 First Light, Grand Theft Auto 6, Marvel's Wolverine, Resident Evil Requiem, and for some reason The Witcher 4, because I don't think there's even a release window for The Witcher 4. All the other games have at least a 2026 release window. So I don't know why The Witcher 4 is on that list. It's weird. But, I mean, it might come out next year, but it might not. Grand Theft Auto 6 clearly is going to win for most anticipated game. I would laugh if it gets delayed again to 2027. At this point, I would find it hilarious. But, Grand Theft Auto 6 is clearly going to win most anticipated game. You'd think. And Last of Us 2 adaptation is only half done. That's true. They are making Last of Us Part 2 into seasons 2 and 3. But yeah, GTA 6, most anticipated game. And and then we got categories I know nothing about. Content Creator of the Year, I've only heard of Moist Critical. Of those nominees, I've heard of Moist Critical. That's it. So I have no idea who would win Content Creator of the Year. I have no idea. So feel free. Let me know in the comment section down below. Best esports game. Here you go. Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, Bang Bang, and Valorant. I have no idea what Mobile Legends is. Who would win this? I have no idea. No clue. I don't know enough. Tell you what, the next category, best esports athlete. No idea who any of these people are. So I don't have anything to say on that. Same with best esports team. Again, I don't follow anything about esports, so I don't know who any of these teams are. So go figure. Who's gonna win? No idea. These are the categories. Esports, if I usually do these in the pre-show, usually. And I also have another prediction for the Game Awards. They're gonna spend way too much time on ads. And too much time on trailers for new games, of which, yes, I know that's one reason to watch it. My issue with the Game Awards, usually, it's called the Game Awards. They spend 90% of the time on not the Game Awards, and 10%, if not less, on the actual awards part of the awards show. So I'm feeling they might... I'm going to predict, instead of 90% not the awards and 10% on the awards, I think they're going to change it up slightly. After last year, the slight complaints, it's going to be 80% not awards and 20% on the awards. Maybe they'll actually have some more nominated winners actually come up and give speeches and give the winners more than 30 seconds to give a speech. I understand Christopher Judge, when he won for voicing Kratos, he talked for like 10 minutes straight. And then they decided to, you know what, we're going to give everyone 30 seconds. Like, give them a minute. I just said don't give them 10 minutes. Give them a little bit more time. Spend a little bit more time on the awards aspect of it, the Game Awards. I understand most people don't watch for the Game Awards aspect of it, but, like, give it a little bit more time. So I'm going to predict they're going to actually spend a little bit more time. 80-20, so 20 on the awards versus, like, 90-10 last year. That's what I'm going to predict. So mostly on ads, advertisements, and game announcements. That's what I'm predicting. Random prediction. Who knows? We'll see if I'm right with any of my predictions. I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to go with Clair Obscur winning just about all of its nominations. Because I feel like it is this year's Baldur's Gate 3. And next year, who do I think is going to win Game of the Year for next year? Well, if Grand Theft Auto 6 lives up to the hype and it doesn't get delayed, it is doubtful. I would say it's probably going to win Game of the Year next year. Although something could come out of nowhere. Marvel's Wolverine could be absolutely mind-blowing. Fable can live up all those years of hype. I mean, Forza Horizon 6 is another Forza Horizon. I'm sure they'll probably win Best Racing Game. But other than that, I probably won't win Game of the Year. And Nintendo, well, who knows? Who knows what we're getting from Nintendo next year? Probably a new 3D Mario game, maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, anyways, that's going to do this going over the nominees and my predictions for the Game Awards. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you all next time for some more gaming news, gaming sales, and gaming industry information.